Hello and welcome to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. This here is Silver.
And Chaotic. Why do you do this to me every time?
Because I like to see you panic
The
some.
audacity. Oh, okay, buddy.
See your VTuber panic at the moment.
Yeah,
She just keeps going all over the place.
she's just having a moment, okay?
So this is episode 60. But our guest episode is next episode. For those
So we're
who
going to
are
pretend
wondering.
this is 61.
Yes.
And we'll go back in time next week, okay? So you guys just pretend with us. This is a leap into the future, and then the next week will be 60 with our new guest.
You shall have fun with our new
Our new guest.
Yeah. We'll have we will have fun with our new guest, new traveler, next week.
Yes.
So, Chaotic, would you like to know what this episode is about?
Yes, please.
What is a video game that is old and still being remade over and over again that you know of, that has dragons?
Okay.
Were you gonna guess? It's a very popular video game.
It's a very popular video game?
Yes.
Can I have a hint?
It has weaponized yelling.
Weaponized yelling.
Yes. There's dragons, weaponized yelling, more medieval and magic in it.
Is it Skyrim?
It is Skyrim.
Okay. I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, there's no shot. I don't know that I've ever witnessed weaponized yelling.
It's their dragon shouts.
When watching. Okay.
Fustro da.
You were very specific with weaponized yelling.
This creature has a strong appearance in Skyrim. If you've played it before, it is the Draugr.
Okay.
Do you happen to remember what they are?
If I took a guess right now, I'd be shooting myself in the foot. So I'm going to let you do that.
So the Draugr are an undead creature from Scandinavia, Norse, Viking folklore, literature, and mythology. So they are both undead. They're both zombies and ghosts, kind of. Sometimes they are referred to as Barrow Dwellers or Again Walkers. The Draugr live in their graves, guarding their treasures that they amassed through their lives. They're usually buried with it. They're considered reverence or animated corpses with a actual body.
Okay.
A corporeal body. There's also another type of Draugr that is just sailors who died at sea, but they weren't buried in the right way. So they come back with like seaweed to disguise themselves as.
Seaweed.
Yeah, they have like seaweed hats and hair, and they disguise themselves so they can grab people from their ships.
Old Greg. Hi, I'm Old Greg.
He might be a Draugr.
In my waters. It would not surprise me if that's what he was like described as.
Draugrs are usually Viking warriors, and they retain their skills from being alive as well.
So they retain all of the physical knowledge of how to fight.
Yep.
Okay.
So they can fight just as well dead as alive.
Love that. Hate it. I mean, hate it, but love it.
They also, their appearance is usually, just how they died, they look like.
Ew.
Except they're not immune to decomposition.
Oh, so like, let's just say that man gets disemboweled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's not decomposed. He's just out here with his entrails hanging out.
Yes. And he's slowly decomposing. He's not immune to it.
Not immune, just slow.
Yes. It's
Okay.
slowed down and their skin turns blue and black like it's frostbitten or frozen usually. But draugrs usually lose who they are or people lose who they are when they become draugrs
Mm-hmm.
because they're just bodies left behind that reanimate pretty much. Their spirits and stuff are still kind of move on. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. From what I've seen, uh, so they're not actually themselves when they become them. Because I believe Norse, Scandinavian religion about death, there's like 5 parts to a person, and then they all go different places when you die. But the body usually stays there. But the body also gains some supernatural abilities.
Uh-huh.
Can you guess the supernatural abilities these draugrs get?
Are we talking like supernatural, like super strength, or are we talking like supernatural, like spirit control?
Well, super strength is one.
What about super speed?
They are
We got some
uncannily
fast
fast.
zombies.
Yes.
Okay.
They seem to have an extra
Hmm.
long stride, they say.
Ah, yes. Naturally, when you're dead, get that extra running power
Mhm.
that you didn't have when your lungs didn't work while you were alive.
Yeah. Remove that limiter in the brain.
Yeah, you can just run. Just do your best. Um. So we got super strength, super speed. I don't know. Give me another one.
They can change their size.
That's not what I was expecting. I wasn't ready for that.
They can grow bigger usually if they want to. They can also shape
I hate that.
change.
I hate that. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If they keep their injuries of death, so say my entrail buddy here, okay, my
Mm-hmm.
guy that got gutted, say he wants to
Thorfinn.
turn into a warthog, okay,
Yeah.
he's decided this is what he wants to do with life. Is he still gutted?
Just for rule of cool, I'd probably say yes.
Wild, literally wild.
I haven't really seen that. My reference here for the shape changing is shape shifting the seal with human. They can sometimes shapeshift into seals with human like eyes. A Draugr in Icelandic folk tales collected in the modern age can also change into a great flayed bull, a gray horse with a broken back but no ears or tail, and a cat that would sit upon a sleeper's chest and grow steadily heavier until the victim is suffocated.
I hate that.
The Draugrs also have an ability to curse people just by
Curse
looking at them.
people.
Yes. They can curse them to have bad luck, curse them to die, curse them to be forgotten. They are strong cursors. They also can enter the dreams of living and will leave behind gifts if they do to make sure that the people know that they were actually visited. What these gifts may entail varies, and I'm not sure what that means. Probably nightmares, if I had to guess. The Draugrs can also bring disease to a village. They can create darkness during daylight hours, since they prefer to be active during the nighttime, but they are not vulnerable to sunlight.
They are not vulnerable to sunlight.
Nope.
Wow. So I can't like, you know what, like, I exist in the idea that if I turn on my house lights, I'm safe. You know what I mean? Like if I turn on my lights in my room, I'm safe. So you just tell me these guys should just walk in and just be like, no.
Yeah. They'll just walk right into it, and heck, they can even just touch your house and make your house completely pitch black, even with
I
lights
hate
on,
that.
because they can create their
Disgusting.
own darkness.
Nasty. Hate it. Send it back.
They can also kill you by giving you bad luck.
They can give you bad luck.
Yes. Bad enough to kill
So
you.
what are they gonna do when they pull up to my house and I already have all of the bad luck? Like what do? They just stare in existential crisis?
Probably, or just they just keep turning your lights off. Every time you turn lights on, they just turn them off.
That's some fucking audacity for me. They don't pay bills in this house.
These guys have lots of abilities. So another ability is they can sink into the ground to escape. They can just like
They can what?
they just sink into the ground to escape.
That is absolutely disgusting. I want no part of these.
Some people even say they can pass through walls, even though they have a physical body. They can just walk right through the walls.
Just walk right on through.
Mm-hmm.
Does the wall, like, how does that even work? Does the wall just disappear? Because like homeboys, is it like a zombie situation where we're just like removing limbs and sliding under like creases?
I think it's more of like a Kitty Pryde situation.
Wow.
Where they just...
So they really are out here just powerful as shit for no reason.
Yep. They got Viking fighting skills. They got all these powers. They could even make you a Draugr. But it's not contagious like a vampire contagious. Would you like to know how contagious a Draugr is?
Yes.
It doesn't have to bite you to turn you into a Draugr. It just has to kill you and put you in its grave.
I literally hate that. Like, I don't think that you've named a single thing about these guys that I'm not like absolutely dreading.
So, yeah, he kills you, puts you in his grave. He passes on to the next life. Then you become the Draugr.
Wow. So this motherfucker really said, "Here, take my problems."
Yep. And he goes on to hell.
Oh, is that where you go no matter what when you're a Draugr?
H-E-L, not H-E-L-L.
Oh, hell. Oh, okay. Norse mythology. Norse mythology.
Yep.
I'm on the right track. I'm here. I want to go visit hell. Hello?
Mhm.
She's a very nice lady.
Yes. To some people.
She'd be nice to me. I'd be nice to her. It's fine.
So, to get a Draugr, they form when a person dies, and they have a strong greed or just a general nasty person, or if they have a anger against like their sons, they have bad relationship with their kids. If they die sitting up or die standing by an accidental death, if they can be formed if they died being executed. So there's lots of ways to become a Draugr. A body can turn into a Draugr if it's buried outside of a church's yard.
Yeah, fuck this shit. I'm out. Yeah, that's what I'll add to the conversation right there. I don't know. It can be pretty interesting to become one.
You're not all there though, so
Yeah. It does kind of suck that you're not all there.
I highly doubt that you would be able to become a Draugr.
Oh?
Yeah, because it's usually
Why?
nasty or greedy people, and you're one of the nicest people there is.
Well, that's a lie. But thank you for trying to, like let our viewers know something nice.
If you're buried outside a churchyard or die standing up or sitting, it's a little chance, but I highly doubt you would get.
I feel like I don't really know where my train of thought was going. It had a destination and then it derailed. But like I feel like it wouldn't be like, obviously you not being all there would suck, but it like, why? That's what it was. That's what it was. Why would they give all of the greedy, nasty people all these powers when they die? It just doesn't seem right. Why give them more incentive to be nasty people?
Well, I think from the research I've seen and heard is that the Draugr was originally written and talked about, story told, because the Norse didn't really do much of their own writing or artwork for their creatures. So it fell on a lot of Christians usually ended up writing stuff for them. And some of the stories ended up being the nasty ones turned into these powerful creatures because they didn't convert to Christianity and they were outcast for being a different religion. There is some ways to stop the transformation to a Draugr.
Okay. Listening, adhering, taking notes.
So they would, to keep people turn into Draugrs at death, they would put iron shears on their chest, bind their toes together, and then drive iron nails through their soles of their feet. They would then also hide twigs of grass in their clothing and wrap them up. They would not use the door to leave the house of the victim's home, the dead person's home. They would either cut a hole in the wall They would use a special door made to carry dead people out of, because if you leave through the door, they will remember how to get back in the house. So once they like cut the hole in, they'll board the wall back up, so they won't know how to get back to the house. Sometimes when they're walking and carrying the body, they'll spin it around a couple times to make it confused, so it can't find its way back.
What the fuck? What in the actual fudge?
Mm-hmm.
I'm mortified right now.
And since they can't enter your door, but if they can find the way back to the house, they'll do what is called roof riding, which is making a bunch of noise on the roof in order to get you to come outside to take a look at what's on the roof.
No. That's like horror number 1. Don't go look for the noise. Like, unless they're doing it on Christmas, and even then it's sketchy because I know about Krampus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth all that.
Since you now hate the Draugr, would you like to know how to end the Draugr?
No.
You would not like to know how to end the Draugr?
No, because you started off the conversation with how to prevent becoming one with shit like nails in their feet. So I can only imagine how we're killing it, Silver.
There's a couple ways that I've seen. So, to kill a Draugr is very difficult, as you can imagine. The first way they say is you have to wrestle it back into its grave.
You got me fucked up.
So you gotta wrestle this superhuman strength, size changing Draugr.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time. Mm-hmm.
It's just like Luffy from One Piece, where he just grabs the zombie and shoves it back into the grave.
Uh-huh.
Then another way that is more commonly used is you have to chop off its head with an iron sword. This just immobilizes it. What you then got to do is burn the body, then throw the ashes into the sea. Into the sea.
Into the sea.
If you,
Under the sea.
if you don't do all this, it will just reanimate itself.
Bro, that's exhausting. I'm just going to let it kill me and make me one at that point. I'm going to be real honest. Or I'm going to shove a nail up my foot. So, like...
That is all my notes. Shall we move on to media?
Yes. I'm ready for media. I'm prepared.
As I mentioned earlier, Skyrim. That's the most common one I know of that have Draugrs in them. But they're a little weaker than mythological Draugrs. They don't quite have as many powers. There's a lot of them, usually in the tombs and such. Do you think Jason's a Draugr?
You know, that could be lit. Because he never dies.
Yep, from Friday the 13th. He never dies. He has superhuman strength. He seems to phase through things.
You right? But he, we've shown that he uses like underground tunnels and stuff a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does like just be busting through doors and shit. And he doesn't die. Like nobody's ever actually figured out like a ritual that would make like actually have him die. That's wild to think about.
So, what if they used a ritual like the Draugrs do on the Draugrs on him? Maybe cut off his head and burn him. I don't know enough Jason lore.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he's gone as far as like there's been a Jason in hell and like a Jason in outer space. So he's had quite a bit happen to him. But nobody's ever like, like you said, like dragged him and wrestled him back into his grave, nobody's ever tried to do any of that. They throw him in the water, but he comes back up, obviously. Which is wild because technically his burial place is the water. So
it's not a specific grave mound.
Right. That's you. You're right. You're right. Because I bet his mom did make an actual burial site for him.
Mm-hmm. And is he guarding something? Is he guarding the camp?
Yeah. He guards camp.
Mm-hmm. Just like the Draugr guards
Bro,
the treasure.
This is cool. This is wild. Who knew? I wonder if they know about like the mythology.
Maybe it's a high possibility they do, unless they just so happen to. Because is he technically a reverend? because Jason's not a zombie.
Not
So, so I'd say
technically.
he's closer to a Draugr than anything else I can
Yeah.
think of.
Yeah. That's wild. Who knew a Draugr was gonna end up being my favorite myth?
Yeah.
I still don't like any part of this.
Just imagine if Jason had all these powers.
But he technically does. Like all of their luck runs out when they show up to camp.
Yeah.
He makes everything dark. He's like known for taking out the electricity in the houses. It's by an axe with the generator, but it's the same
Yeah. Makes an area of darkness.
meaning.
Back in Draugr time, he could blow out all the candles.
Yeah. Wow.
He's can stop a car. Supernatural strength.
Yeah. Yeah, he moves. He's one of those killers where if you're walking, he will catch up to you.
Yep.
Or I'm
Extra
sorry,
long
he could be
stride.
walking and still catch up to you. Not if you're walking, he'll catch up to you because that's like duh. But like if you're running, he could still be walking and catch up to you. And he like stomps because he walks so fast.
He carries an axe. Vikings carried axes.
He kind of shapeshifts, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
He has multiple forms. He always represents how he died in those forms. So he has like a waterlogged version that's like ribs are exposed and stuff.
So he keeps his injuries.
And then the Jason from Hell
Yeah.
has like fire and stuff. Wow.
Connections.
This is wild.
Well, other places you can catch Draugrs is probably the god of war, Ragnarok. Has some. They look a little different. I'm sure there's other places in books and other podcasts as well. I know there's a Draugr song I've seen. That's all I had. Ready for mayhem?
Yes.
Would you like to start?
As always. If there was a group of them, I feel like we'd be in major trouble. If there was say there was a group of them and they were, let's use Louisiana as an example. Say they could entirely protect or guard the proximity of New Orleans.
Yes.
That would be wild to have a whole city where they're guarding it and they just kind of run rampant. Now, if there was one in New Orleans, we could maybe band together to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But if there's say there's 10 around the entire proximity of New Orleans, it's going to be rough.
It would be rough going with multiple of them. An entire clan just became Draugrs.
It would be much harder, like you said, if there was a clan of them. If there was just a whole mass of them, it would be a lot harder for if there was just one of them, we could maybe band together 10 people and successfully could take down one. We might lose some people. It might get real sketchy. But I feel if 10 of us really tried and we made a plan, we could get rid of one. But if there's 10 of them, it's going to easily need to take 100 to 150 of us, and we're all going to have to be on the same fucking page.
Yeah. I think it might even take more than 10, maybe 25 or so. Just because of
I'm saying 10 is a bare minimum, attempt.
10 in a good plan.
We have to have 10 with a good plan. We're the ones controlling the situation. We lure it out and do some Mystery Inc. shit. But it would definitely be, we would have to utilize technology, updated day-to-day things to do that.
Yeah. Because I don't even think guns would work because it's got to behead them with an iron weapon.
Right. But I'd imagine just kind of like vampires, if you disassemble them, it slows them down.
Probably, yes.
So if we shot his arms and legs off with a shotgun, we could work on how to, you know what I mean? So I think bare minimum 10 people with a good plan for one. And
yes.
that's in a worst case scenario, we can't get more people to help. But easily over 150 or so for a group of them.
Yeah.
So I feel a group of them would be severely problematic.
Another issue that we'd come across would be fighting them when they still retain their Viking fighting skills.
Yeah. Vikings were pretty ruthless.
Yes. But one, you could avoid the entire area. You could just leave.
But then what happens when they keep doing it all over the place? You know what I mean? Like what happens when every city's getting guarded? Because like you said, it's easily contagious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It just, I mean, if we like just had 10 and they were just in New Orleans and that's the most that ever happened, we could just leave New Orleans. Not that Nolans people are gonna like that. Okay? But we could just abandon it. However, what happens when they're like, more over here? More over here. What if one wakes up and it's like, you know what? I really don't feel like guarding this city. I'm gonna go over here.
I think that's just against its nature.
No. Just because, okay, so you're telling me that if one buries me in its tomb, I automatically have to guard where it was darting?
No, I'm not really sure on that one.
Exactly. So I'm gonna wake up and be like, you know what? New York sounds nice this time of year, and I'm gonna go to New York, and then we've got more problems.
I think you just head back to your own place, your house. They guard your house.
Oh, cool. So I'm gonna guard my kids are fucked, bro.
Pretty
See,
much.
this is the issue here. This is the issue. Okay, this is the problem here. So like, I feel like if there was one of them, they'd be a problem, but they wouldn't be as big of a problem. Somebody could like help solve that issue. Whereas if there was multiple of them, it would definitely be a bigger, scarier issue. And if like, just think about 10 motherfucking Jasons at Camp Crystal Lake. Absolutely not. One is hard enough with like a group of 10 people. And you know, they're ill prepared. They're the ones getting ambushed, so they don't know what to do. Usually it's two of them that come together and like barely subdue him enough to get out of the area.
It'd be just become Camp Jason Lake at that time.
Camp Voorhees?
Yes.
Camp Jason Lake. I can't with you.
I first named him. Chaos. Chaos is what happens when supernaturally strong zombies come out to play. Then they'll just curse everybody and they'll die later on, even if they win. Doesn't Jason have a curse too?
He does, yes.
Shall we wrap things up since we're running a little low on time?
Yes.
We are wrapping things up to the outro. Thank you all for listening. Thanks to our patrons for supporting us. We got Ruby, Mondi, Thor, Loki, and Nuggies. Thank you all so much. It means a lot. Chaotic, any news?
Yes, today on the day of recording was Silver's birthday. So if you did not tell Silver happy birthday when we were recording this episode, just, you know, spam him with happy birthdays upon listening. Okay, thanks. And he's old. He's older than I am. So make sure you remind him he's old.
I am turning 275.
Correct. Actually, you're turning 300.
Chaotic is only 20.
No, I am 290 and you are 300. Okay?
Yes.
I still have 10 years.
And you too can live this long. You just got to become a Draugr.
Correct.
Please spread the word of the podcast. Word of mouth is appreciated.
Oh.
Yes.
By the time, oh my God, please. By the time everybody's listening to this, my Storytellers in the Fog podcast is out and live on all podcast areas. So if anybody would like to listen to that, please feel free. It all uploaded today.
Chaotic with the outro.
Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Kaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends should affect modern-day society. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or almost any podcast service easiest to you. Dive into the depths of chaos with us every Wednesday, bar Silver and Kaotic not missing their scheduling, and consider joining the podcast Discord or Twitter following for more insider looks and even some D&D sessions. If you'd like some extra special inside looks or even want to be a guest on the show, consider helping us via Patreon. Your help makes such a big difference to us both. Until next time, Mythics, you never know what kind of mayhem we might get into. Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Kaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends could... Shut the fuck up, Silver! I only have so long!
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, Why do you hate me?